Oh, hi there. Don't mind me, I'm just casually reading one of these books I just picked up. Yeah, that has to be the most awkward intro in the history of intros. But nevertheless, I am here today with my July and June book haul. Hi everyone, it is Samantha, and as I said in the intro, I am here today to do my book haul. This is July and some June. I did get some books in June, but I never showed you guys. So I'm here today to show you guys what books I picked up, and I'm quite excited to do so. So woo for all the books. Woo, woo. Pardon me if I'm going to be speaking very quickly in this video or seem a little hyper, is because I have had a cup of coffee and then a Dutch Brothers latte. So I'm kind of jacked up on the old caffeine here, but that's okay. It just means we're gonna have a super energetic book haul. Yay for coffee. Okay, so the first book I want to tell you guys about is one that has not come yet, but it will be coming tomorrow, and that is Armada by Ernest Cline. This is his newest book. Ernest Cline is the author of Ready Player One, which I adored, so I had to pick up his new book. I pre-ordered it. It will be coming tomorrow, but I am an impatient person and I wanted to film this today, so there you go. Next two books I got were Kindle books. The first one was Blue Lily, Lily Blue by Maggie Stiefvater, the third book in the Raven cycle. I have actually already read it. I finished it last week, loved it. It was 4 out of 5 stars, cannot wait for the next book, so that was good. The next one I got, and I am also in the middle of reading right now, is Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell by Susanna Clarke. I am reading this with a bunch of really great booktubers. I'm about 100 pages in, 150 pages in, and I'm enjoying it so far. Definitely a little bit slower moving. I'm going to be stretching this one over the course of the month. So it takes place in England during the Napoleonic Wars, and it follows Mr. Norrell, who is one of the last practical magicians in England trying to bring magic back to Europe, and Jonathan Strange, who ultimately ends up becoming kind of his student, if you will. So yeah, it's a good book. Definitely reads a lot like a classic, but I'm really enjoying it. The next book I picked up was The Son of Neptune by Rick Riordan. Second book in the Heroes of Olympus series. I already read this one and I really enjoyed it. I think I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. So yes, I'm really enjoying the series. The next one I picked up was The House of Hades by Rick Riordan. I don't have Mark of Athena. I do need to get it at some point, but I ended up listening to that one in an audiobook. So I need to read House of Hades, and I decided to pick it up, which I did, so yes, hoping to get to this one this month as well, because I really enjoy this series. The next 2 books I was sent by Simon & Schuster in exchange for a free and honest review. I thought the guy who emailed me, it looked like a different publishing house, so when I got the package it says Simon & Schuster, so I'm going to say it's Simon & Schuster. The first book is The Iron Ship by K.M. McKinley. I know this is a fantasy series with a lot of steampunk elements. It has to do with a time of magic and a time when engines, machines, and steam are starting to come into play. Like, industrialization is occurring in this world. It seemed really intriguing, so I'm excited to read it and review it. I'm hoping to get to this one this month as well. The second book that they sent me was Iron and Blood by Gail Z. Martin and Larry N. Martin. Again, I don't know too much about this except for it is a steampunk book, and I like steampunk, so it seemed intriguing, so I'm hoping to get to this one at some point this summer, and yes. Yay! The next book is Dead House Gates by Stephen Erickson, the second book in the Follow Them All It's On. I read Gardens of the Moon last month with Connor for Connor O'Brien and Chelsea from the Reading Outlaw. Really enjoyed it, so I wanted to get booktubes. So we're going to continue on with the series. Really interesting, unique fantasy series. Very, very, very detailed. Like, I thought my Indie books were detailed. These might be a little more so. So many characters to follow, but it's really unique and I'm really enjoying it. So I picked up this guy and it just came the other day, so now I can continue on. The next book is another second book in a series, and that is The Singing Sword by Jack White, which is the second book in the Camelot Chronicles, I want to say. It is the sequel to The Skystone, which I read last month. These are Arthurian retellings. They're very good, very, very well done. He has such a lyrical way of writing, and I cannot wait to continue on with the series. This is the second one. I was really happy because I bought this used on Amazon for $4, and it came like never been read, so that was exciting. I cannot wait to continue on with the series. I really enjoyed the first one. I like his take on the Arthurian legends, so it should be quite interesting. The next book that I picked up was His Majesty's Dragon by Naomi Novik. I know that her name is kind of going around booktube right now with her book Uprooted, which I haven't read, but I picked up this one before I had actually heard of her. I happened to just see it on somebody's channel, I can't remember whose, but it seemed like an interesting story. It's another alternate historical setting, so it takes place in our world, but during the Napoleonic Wars as well. But the countries, France and England, them use dragons, I believe. That's kind of all I know. They use them in war and for guidance and things, and it seems intriguing because I love dragons, so I decided to pick it up. The next book is a graphic novel, and one that I am very excited to get to, and that is Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past graphic novel. by Shotaro Ishinomori, which I hope I'm saying that right. This was my very first Zelda game and one of my favorites. It was for the Super Nintendo, and when I saw that it was coming out in graphic novel form, I knew I had to pick it up. So I was very excited to get to it, and I love the graphics. They're very reminiscent of the 16-bit era. I don't know how many of you guys have had Nintendo Powers, but Nintendo Power used to put little comics in the middle, and some of the old ones that go back to like the early 90s had the same kind of art style. So it was kind of reminiscent of that, and it was very nostalgic for me. So I'm hoping to get to this one this month, and I can't wait, because what's better than Zelda than having it in a graphic novel form? So I'm hoping they'll do the others too. I'd love to see an Ocarina of Time graphic novel and a Majora's Mask graphic novel. So please make that happen, people who made this happen, because we need it in our lives. So the next book that I picked up, and I'm also very excited to get to, is Malice by John Gwynne. This is a very interesting fantasy series from what I have heard from people who have read it. They said it's very enjoyable. It follows a cast of, I believe, like 4 characters, and this world is torn apart, and men are fighting giants, and just battles happening everywhere, and these people have to kind of like unite the lands. I think that's kind of my general gist of the book. I'm going off reading the back of the book, but I'm excited to read it. Again, I love fantasy, and this one looked like it would be really enjoyable, and I thought the cover was really cool with the sword, and the other ones are just as equally as cool looking. So yes, it's a chunker too, but I can't wait to get to it. I think Vanessa from Vanessa Buttino and I are going to be starting it at the end of this month, and I cannot wait. And I'll link her channel down below. You guys should go and check her out, because she is fantastic. So then last week I also decided on my lunch break to make a trip to Barnes & Noble, because I hadn't been there in a while. So I picked up a few books I'm excited to show you guys. The first one is A Singular and Extraordinary Tale of Mir and Goliath by Isabel B. This I was kind of a cover buy, and then I read the back of the book and it seemed interesting, so I decided to pick it up. I'm actually over halfway through it, and I should be finishing it this weekend. It takes place in Victorian England. It follows Mir, a little girl who has returned to England from Egypt with her protector Goliath. Mir is very unusual in that she might not actually be human anymore. When she was about 6 years old, she was locked into a grandfather clock by her grandfather, and there was something in that clock, and it ended up transforming her. And she has returned to England to kind of figure out what to do about that with her protector, who is a shapeshifter. And there are people trying to go after her, including Mr. Fingers, who is basically the devil, and Mr. Loveheart, who is somebody that Mr. Fingers took over when he was a little boy and kind of created him into an evil demon man, basically. So anyway, there's a bunch of people trying to go after her because she has something that they want. So it's been pretty interesting. It's a very unusual book. Really dark, but it's very Neil Gaiman-esque, and I'm really enjoying it. The way the story is told is very whimsical and lyrical, so it's been a pretty interesting read. The next book I found there, and I had to get it, because if you know me and you follow my channel for a long time, you will know I'm obsessed with Christmas. I love it so much, and that is A Christmas Carol and Other Christmas Classics. This was a Barnes & Noble bargain book, and it was only like $8, and I had to get it because, as you know, I love Charles Dickens, and I love his Christmas stories, and it has all of his Christmas books, all of his Christmas essays, and apparently 3 Christmas stories that he wrote with Wilkie Collins, who's another Victorian author that I love, that I had no idea they wrote some Christmas stories together. So I'm really excited because I have another Charles Dickens Christmas collection, but it doesn't have all of his novels or short stories in it, and this one does. So I was very excited, and I also love that it is red and green on the naked hardback with gold lettering. It's very cool. So I'm excited to definitely be reading this during Christmas, reading the ones that I haven't read yet, and I was so excited. Plus the cover, it's like, look, it's Bob Cratchit and Tiny Tim. I just love it so much, so I definitely had to pick it up. I'm very, very excited when I saw this. The next 2 books should come as no surprise, and the first one is Robin Hobb's The Ship of Destiny. I just got this. It's book 3 in the Life Traders trilogy. I just got it yesterday, and I was so excited because I've been waiting for this book for like 2 weeks because I want to finish the trilogy. It's so good, and I've already started it, already really enjoying it. Cannot wait to finish it up. Just, oh. Also, look at the covers. Jackie Morris does the cover arts for Robin Hobb's books, and I absolutely love them. I'll link her blog down below because she does her art on there, and her art is fantastic. So she does pretty much all of Robin Hobb's books that are done in this style, and I love it to death. Her artwork is so amazing. So I want to give a shout out to the artist who does the cover designs as well as the author, because they are both fantastic. So check out her blog. It'll be linked down below. The next one I got, which I also got at Barnes & Noble, is The Dragon Keeper, the first book in the Rain and Wilds Chronicles, which is her series after the Tawny Man trilogy. So yes, I actually like the mass market versions of these because they're kind of floppy. And again, this is Jackie Morris's artwork, and I really, really love it. It's just so whimsical. And the last book is the last Robin Hobb book I got this month, and that is The Golden Fool by Robin Hobb, the second book in the Tawny Man trilogy. I already had book 1, which was Fool's Errand. I got this for my birthday, and I wanted to make sure that I picked up book 2 because I'm basically just going to continue to marathon all of her books throughout the rest of the year, so I want to get through them all, and I can't wait because she's amazing. So yes, I really like this one. This one I think is my favorite so far in the trilogy. I still need to get the third one, but this is the first one, this is the second one, and I think it looks so cool. Again, this is Jackie Morris's artwork. Phenomenal artist! I know I keep saying that, but really, the artist and the author are both amazing, and they deserve to be recognized. Alright guys, that was my July and June book haul. I hope that you enjoyed it. Let me know down in the comments if you've read any of these books and what your thoughts are on them. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, happy reading. Bye!